Kind day to you all, I am Kinsmarck, and I have one of the most important announcements in this channel's history to make. One that's a long time in coming and that I've spent considerable time conferring among friends and family about. One that completely changes a fundamental aspect of how I approach the creation of content for this channel. And one that, I admit, as confident as I am in the choice to make it, I can't help feeling intense anxiety about. I can actually feel my heart pounding in my chest as I speak, just because of the change that's about to come from it. I'll cut straight to it. I am completely demonetizing this channel as of today, cutting all ads from all content from here on. As of today, should one come across any ads on this channel, know that I did not put them there. Some company that claimed copyright did, and they are the ones collecting the ad revenue instead of me. I am cutting us off from the increasingly concerning amount of arcane caveats and strings attached to the common arrangement of ad-driven content creation on YouTube, and changing instead to a completely fan-driven arrangement. I leave any amount of money I collect for the creation of content on this channel up to you from here on out. I know this change may come as a surprise, and I assure you I only came to this decision after careful analysis of channel analytics, intense introspection, and consideration of the tenets this channel was founded upon. Coverage of entertainment media in as candid, honest, and unbiased a fashion as I can manage, complete with the harsh language and at times controversial statements that come from such a mission statement. And concisely put, as the community guidelines governing monetizable and thus professionally sustainable content on YouTube continue to shift more and more toward a style incompatible with our own, it's increasingly clear that I cannot maintain the style and voice I've established for myself and this channel if I'm to continue relying upon that system of revenue generation. And I'm certainly not about to start changing the content I create, or censoring myself, or allowing the concerns of companies I have no connection to determine any aspect of how I approach this channel. I simply cannot, in good faith, compromise my integrity like that. So, something's gotta give, and that something is ads. Convenient, eh? You get ad-free content, and we get to keep creating the show as we see fit. The one catch is simply, how do we make money now and keep the show alive? The answer is simple. You. And this is the part that gets hard for me, because I can't stand asking for help, much less money, from anyone in any circumstances. And yet, if I'm to keep this channel alive, I have to ask, as humbly as I possibly can, for your support. I am, however, compelled to make a few clear promises first. Know that I will never ask you for money. I'll ask for your consideration, and I'll mention channels available for you to support us that way if you should choose to do so, and I cannot thank you enough, those of you that do choose to. I will never, ever, however, flat out ask you to donate to me or to this channel. I just can't do it. Know too that I will never make donation compulsory to access any amount of content on this channel. All of its contents are free for anyone and everyone to enjoy, donators or not. I can't stand the idea of shutting anything away past a paywall for you all, so donations are and shall remain completely and totally optional. And if you can't afford to donate, or hell, don't feel like we even deserve it, I completely understand. Know that the last thing I want to do is put pressure on you to do so, or to presume upon your priorities. All that said, I have set up a few avenues for you guys to support us here at Last Level Press, and the clearest and easiest means is most certainly Patreon. A concise rundown for those who aren't aware, Patreon is a site devoted to the cause of supporting independent creators, people like us, artists, musicians, painters, YouTubers, etc. And they simply provide a hub page for creators to show off their work and for their fans to support them through regular automated monthly donations. And a lot of people have met with a lot of success there, and hell, even if you aren't supporting us, I'd still encourage you to check Patreon out, because odds are you've enjoyed someone's content with a page there and never even knew it. I know monthly donations may sound like a major commitment. Thing is, you can pledge as little as $1 a month through Patreon, and that adds up fast for people like us. If even just half of this channel's active subscribers were to contribute just $1 a month, it could change our lives, for instance. I could finally move us into a home of our own. I could pay my own way for the first time in years, and honestly, that's all I'm after in life. Another avenue of support for you guys is one to check out I actually just came across recently, and I already integrated it into our streaming setup, called Gaming for Good. Similar to Patreon, they're a site aimed at providing game-centric entertainers with a means of supporting themselves with the help of their fans. And along with a lot of cool tools like stream overlays, creator spotlights on their front page, and easy Twitch integration, they offer a lot of flexible means of donating to creators with the option of sending a percentage of each donation to charity, hence the name. And lastly, there's always the channel tip jar, available on the Support This Channel section of our front page here on YouTube. Cut and dry. So, how does this change, as significant as it is, affect the channel for the average viewer? Consider it positive, because it's forced me to start looking at the channel with even more concern for you, the viewer, than ever. Because I feel like if you're the ones directly supporting me, I have to make the channel worthy of that support to the greatest extent of my abilities. And first and foremost of the changes coming immediately to the channel is an improved schedule. I know consistency of content is a serious shortcoming of mine, and I aim to fix that. So, effective immediately, the channel schedule is as thus: Mondays, mod spotlights; Tuesdays, reading from the Elder Scrolls and an export of the preceding week's midweek livestream; Wednesdays, indie games and a livestream; Thursdays, reading from the Elder Scrolls and an export of the preceding Friday's livestream. Fridays, of course, are still stream series days, and the rest is still flexible enough to account for first 15s, one-offs, ongoing series, and content I just create on a whim, like condescending Kinsmarck, vlogs, or entries on the Wall of Shame. Aside from implementing that additional structure to the schedule, little is actually changing in terms of the show you guys see. Because I don't have to worry about censoring myself to keep up an ad-friendly status. I can keep my commentary style, my formats, and the subjects I cover all the same. Hell, I can even lighten up in some instances. All I'm changing as far as the show itself is concerned is that I'll make mention of our Patreon page at the close of each episode, add a link to it in the outro credits sequence, and I'll let you guys know anytime we add something new or special to our merchandise store. Shirts, hoodies, shot glasses, etc. Another avenue for you guys to check out to support us and get a little something to show for it as well. I can hardly stress enough that as much as I consider this change monumental in significance for me as a creator and a professional, you probably aren't going to notice it much. And you know what? All the stress of the change itself aside, I think it's a cleaner arrangement. I can create content of any kind I like, and it's up to you, the audience, to decide if it's worth supporting. This show is for you more now than it ever was, and I am completely fine with that. I can avoid all concerns about any inadvertent conflicts of interest through association with any ads or companies shown alongside critical content, and I can maintain as candid, clear, and honest a style as I first envisioned for this channel, sans any concerns of ad friendliness. I need only concern myself with you guys, and honestly, that's all I ever cared about anyway. Collecting ad revenue was simply a means to the end of supporting myself with the creation of content for you all, so that I can keep doing it and dedicating myself to it every day professionally, something I am more passionate about than anything I've ever pursued in my life. And now I can consolidate everything down to that core nucleus of intent. And it's actually kind of liberating in a strange sort of way. Since I'm not relying upon ad revenue and copyright claims thus aren't a major concern, I can cover things I've kept away from until now due to concerns of companies filing spurious claims, like film reviews, discussion of trailers, and coverage of games from companies that ordinarily make the lives of creators like us a challenge. I'll keep everything legal, mind you, fair use is still a chief concern. It just means that companies who don't care for the particulars of those laws can't keep me from covering their products any longer, short of straight up issuing DMCAs. And yeah, this shift places an implicit sort of additional pressure on me, as I've now put myself in the circumstance of having to create content on a consistent enough schedule and at a level of quality such that I feel justified in essentially asking for compensation for it. At the same time, though, it's a positive sort of pressure, and it's one that'll drive me to improve myself and my content such that I can call it worthy of you guys, and I actually kind of like that. It's incentive, it's motivation, and I thrive on that kind of thing. And so, perhaps it's fitting that for the 1000th video on the channel, this labor of love that I've poured so much of my heart, soul, and time into for the last 3 years, I cast off any concerns save my own journalistic integrity and desire to inform and entertain you all, and make this show all about serving the people it was always for, you. So, thank you for your consideration. Thank you kindly for watching. And to those of you who do choose to support us, no matter how large or small the contribution, even if it's just as simple as sharing some of our work, I cannot thank you enough. Know that you have my personal and sincere thanks. And let me know in the comments if you guys have any ideas for Patreon rewards for folks who donate above certain amounts, whether it's private Discord chats, copies of video scripts, or anything else you guys might like to see. Let me know and I'll consider any ideas sent my way. I am Kinsmarck here at Last Civil Press. Thank you once again, and as always, I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.